Now, to truly test this theory that coins in the Ethereum ecosystem, or really any ecosystem, move together, we want to use different control groups and different variable groups. So what we're going to do next is we're going to compare the price action of Ethereum to a coin that is not a part of its ecosystem, such as XRP. So here's XRP's stats. Its market cap is about $29.5 billion. Volume is about $1.3 billion. Circulating supply is 47.74 billion XRP. Max supply is 100 billion XRP. The total supply that is in creation is 99.989 billion XRP. So it almost has reached its maximum supply of 100 billion. There's a little bit left that still could be created, and there's only 47.74 billion available to the public. Now, XRP is a real-time gross settlement system. It's mainly used for monetary transactions. It's one of the competitors to the banking system called SWIFT. SWIFT is something that's used by banks to quickly and cheaply move around assets and monetary transactions internationally. XRP was created out of a need to help facilitate that and help expedite that process. So here's XRP's price action, overall market structure throughout 2021 into 2022. What's interesting here is that while the vast majority of other coins, such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and others, were overall seeing an uptrend going into 2021, particularly December 2020, they were overall seeing upwards movement. We see here in late December XRP falling from about 70 cents, give or take, to a low of about 20 cents. And this is mainly attributed to the fact that they were and currently are still being investigated by the SEC. The SEC is accusing Ripple, which is the company behind the development and creation of XRP. They're accusing them of issuing illegal securities, where they're claiming XRP is a security and some sort of financial contract, or a security in that people buying XRP and using XRP are investing in Ripple. Now, whether or not that's true or not remains to be seen. The investigation is still ongoing, but this was a major cause for concern. Several US-based exchanges were beginning to delist XRP, including Coinbase and others, and this caused essentially a mad dash out by investors. Investors started selling off, and there was really a rather dramatic price sell-off, which was strange to see considering the rest of the market was still moving upwards. Bitcoin was reaching new all-time highs, Ethereum as well. And while all this other movement with the market was moving upwards, there was no correlation between that and XRP. XRP would actually fall during this time. Now, comparing Ethereum to XRP, particularly in the month of April, here we see late March, overall April, and then early May, we see Ethereum in the blue and XRP in the orange. Now, what's interesting here is that we see XRP ultimately would recover from its December and January lows and would begin to swing back upwards and revisit new recent highs. While Ethereum was rather stagnant and would remain flat during April 5th, 6th, and 7th, rather flat price movement, price action, XRP, on the other hand, would ultimately see increasing highs. So here we do not see a correlation between these two markets. Moving moving forward a little bit more. Here we see once again Ethereum reaching a new plateau, staying rather stagnant, possibly consolidating at this period, whereas XRP reaches a new peak, a new high, a new recent high. Overall price action is much more severe and much more upwards in terms of trajectory, and compared to Ethereum, which seems to be taking a much more gradual pace in this early April time period. Now, fast forward, here we see XRP reach a recent high for 2021. There was a previous high in 2017-2018 cycle of about $3. Here we see XRP reach about $2 in mid-April. At the same time, we do see Ethereum reach a new all-time high, but once again, it's not as dramatic, it's not as severe, and this could be part of a general market correlation with Bitcoin. We're not showing Bitcoin right now, but generally at this point, Bitcoin did reach a new all-time high of about 64,000, give or take, and this could be seen as a general market correlation with the general cryptocurrency market. Now, what's interesting here, from the 15th to the 26th, this is a general downtrend. This is a rather severe downtrend where the price of XRP really struggled to maintain and hold any semblance of a price level or support level. Ethereum, on the other hand, in the blue, while there were some losses, this general level of about $2,000, give or take, was held. This was seen as a major support level, and actually even coincides with its consolidation level seen in the 5th, 6th, and 7th, where XRP was moving upwards. Ethereum was really moving flat and just kind of holding this $2,000 price level. Here we see Ethereum come back down to that level and hold it, would bounce off of it, and then ultimately would continue into May and reach new all-time highs. XRP at the same time would continue to produce lower lows, really bottoming out for the time being anyway at around $1, give or take. Moving forward, looking at May, at least the first half of May, while we do see a overall market decrease, we do see a divergence between XRP and Ethereum. Generally, the price movements are similar in terms of direction. Here we see a downtrend at the same time, somewhat of a downtrend, mainly more of a sideways market observed in this later part of April. This would resume with overall uptrend from both markets. Ethereum producing much more of a stable upwards trend, whereas XRP, we do see a bit more volatility observed here in the general market structure, particularly on May 8th, May 7th, May 8th, we see a divergence. Ethereum would continue on to reach new all-time highs and produce a higher high, higher high, higher high. We do see XRP producing lower high, lower high, lower low, lower high. Overall, we do see this divergence between the two financial instruments. Next up, let's compare our findings within the Ethereum ecosystem to another growing platform, Polkadot. Is another growing ecosystem. Their market cap is about $19 billion. Considerably smaller than Ethereum, but this is something that's still growing. His volume is $1.2 billion worth of Polkadot is traded. Circulating supply 987.5 million DOT. The max supply is not yet determined by the development group. Similar to Ethereum, there's no max supply for Ethereum yet as well. And the total supply is 1.1 billion Polkadot. So we do see a difference between the circulating supply and the total supply. circulating supply being the amount that's available to the public. Now, Polkadot is an open source sharding multi-chain protocol, and their main focus is essentially interconnectivity, cross blockchain transfers. At the time being, Ethereum is its own ecosystem, and there's no way for information or data within Ethereum to be sent to, let's say, the Bitcoin network or to the Cardano network. They're separate blockchains, they're separate systems. What Polkadot aims to do is to connect all of these ecosystems, all of these blockchains, to facilitate cross-blockchain informational exchange and multi-chain protocols. So here's Polkadot throughout 2021 and into 2022. Overall, somewhat of a similar price structure to Ethereum. We're seeing new all-time highs reached in the first half of 2021. General downtrend into June, July, and just before August, we do see a reversal to the upside. New all-time highs observed in early November as well, correlating with Ethereum, and then a following downtrend. This is much more severe than what was observed in Ethereum, something to note as well. Even though they're both considered large cap or high-end, larger projects in terms of market capitalization, Polkadot did receive more severe losses compared to Ethereum in terms of percentage lost. Next up, we'll compare Polkadot with a project that is running on the Polkadot network, Kusama. Kusama has a market cap of $1.4 billion. It sees about $61 million traded or exchanged on a daily basis. The circulating supply is 8.4 million Kusama tokens. There's no identified max supply of Kusama, and the total supply, the total in existence at this moment, are 9.6 million Kusama tokens. Now, Kusama is considered an experimental blockchain, and it also focuses on interoperability within the Polkadot network. Here's the Kusama price action throughout 2021. Similar price actions seen and observed, correlating with Polkadot, correlating with Ethereum. Well, what's interesting here is we do see much more dramatic wicks. Overall, the wicks are much more pronounced to the downside and to the upside. We see these lines, these hairlines called wicks. The price is much more volatile, and it doesn't really seem to stay at where it opened or where it closed, particularly in these downtrends. Really large wicks downward and then back up and then back down. Much more pronounced compared to Polkadot and Ethereum. And here is a comparison between Polkadot in the blue line and Kusama in the orange line. This is particularly focusing on both of their price action in April and early May 2021. Here we see throughout April, Polkadot would reach new all-time highs of about $40, give or take, per token, and reach another all-time high of about $48 per Polkadot token. At the same time, Kusama was actually correlating with and would fall within a downtrend. It would not reach a new all-time high on the 16th at the same time Polkadot would. But if we generally look at the price pattern, the pattern of these line patterns, they're fairly similar in regards to where it's going between Polkadot and Kusama. So there is a high level of correlation observed here. We do see that continue into late April. We do see a bottoming out of both Polkadot and Kusama. More recent lows in the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and 26th, with an overall reversal to the upside of seen going into May. And really, overall, once again, very similar price patterns, particularly here, the 26th into May 1st, and also here the 10th, 11th, and 12th. Very similar price patterns with this V-shaped format and then resulting to the upside. Following that, the 17th, 18th, and 19th, we do see overall price patterns and price falls. This is just correlation with the general market, but we can infer that there is a correlation between Polkadot and Kusama generally.